Yo, we are back. It's been a while. Last video we dropped was the YouTube boxing fights we need to see again, which got no views. But that doesn't matter because we don't do this for the views. Anyways, in today's video, I will be giving my predictions for Mifits 004, which is happening this weekend on January 14th. The main event was supposed to be KSI versus Dylan Dennis, but
Are people saying you're not going to show up?
Why wouldn't I show up? This is the stupidest thing ever.
But now we got KSI versus Face Temper with the stacked undercard. We are talking Salt Poppy versus Josh Bruckner, Slim versus Tom Zanetti, and the return of the best boxer, Swarms. So I will stop wasting your time. Let's get into the predictions. Alright, so with our first fight prediction, we have Faith Ordway versus Elle Brooke. This fight, in my opinion, will be a better fight than people think. Elle Brooke has been putting in the work with Ebony Bridges, who is the IBF female bantamweight champion, so it's safe to say that Elle Brooke has been putting in the work, and also from this clip, she isn't looking bad on the pads. Matter of fact, she looks pretty decent. Now, on to Faith Ordway. She's looking pretty decent as well. Her jab isn't too bad except for the fact she telegraphs it a lot, but in this scene, it doesn't really matter because almost everyone is a novice. Also from this clip, she isn't looking bad at all. And yes, I said the same with Elle Brooke, but Faith looks more fluid and smooth. Me personally, I think the fight ends in a 30-round TKO for Faith Ordway. I think her pressure and combinations will be too much for Elle Brooke to handle. Moving on to the next fight, we have Anthony Pretty Boy Taylor versus Idris the Body Breaker Virgo. Anthony Taylor has a professional boxing record of 2 wins and 3 losses. But if we count his crossover boxing fights, he has a record of 4 wins, 5 losses, and 1 draw. Anthony Taylor is coming off a draw against Jack Fincham, which, to be fair, 18 won the fight, but since it was an exhibition, it had to be considered a draw. In his last fight, he showed his peekaboo style, which fits him perfectly for his size. AT has power in his right hand, as we can see from these clips. If he lands that right hand, it will be a long night for anyone. AT isn't your traditional boxer. He is more of a brawler, so his fights won't be pretty. Moving on to Idris Virgo. Idris Virgo is a reality star turned into a boxer. He has a professional boxing record of 12 wins and 1 draw. Idris Virgo has actual skill and understands boxing pretty well. He likes going for the body a lot, hence why he's called the body breaker. To be completely honest, I have no clue how this fight is going to go. The fight could go either way. I can see AT stopping Idris Virgo if he lands his right hand, but most likely I think Idris Virgo will just outbox him and beat him by unanimous decision. The next fight we have is the Bad Man versus the Madman, aka Ryan Taylor versus Swarms, the fight of the centuries. Ryan Taylor has had 3 fights in this scene, which 2 of those fights were against Slim, who we will talk about later, and Anthony Taylor. His fight against Anthony Taylor was a draw, but if anyone watched that fight, which I doubt because it was in someone's garage, you would have seen that Anthony Taylor beat him. But with his fight with Slim, he lost, but he showed that he was a warrior, and he has a tough chin. Now with Swarms, he only had 1 fight, and that was against KSI, who we will talk about later on. His fight against KSI was on 2 weeks' notice after Alex Wasabi pulled out of the fight, so he didn't have that much time to prepare, and it was his first fight, and he was mainly focusing on losing weight rather than boxing. Swarms has gotten into shape, and he has definitely improved. This is a tough fight to call, but just for the redemption story, I'm going to go with my man Swarms by a very close decision. I don't think he can knock out Ryan, but we never know. So my prediction is Swarms by decision. Next fight, we have B Dave versus a mystery opponent, which in my opinion is Alex Wasabi, because let's be real, B Dave has like 600 followers on Twitter, while Alex Wasabi has 1.2 million. So he wouldn't be responding to B Dave if he wasn't the mystery opponent. Also, he has been liking Twitter posts about the mystery opponent. So if it is Alex Wasabi, then I think Alex Wasabi takes it. I've only seen 1 fight of B Dave, and he didn't look great. I mean, he got the TKO, but he didn't look great. And Alex Wasabi has improved from his last fight with Deji, which I know a lot of people won't want to admit, but it's true. So if it is Alex Wasabi versus B Dave, I got Alex Wasabi by 2nd round TKO. Next, we have the fight of the boogeyman of YouTube boxing. I'm talking about Salt Poppy versus Josh Bruckner. Starting off with Salt Poppy. This will be his first test in the ring. His 2 fights were against Halal Ham, which he outboxed and won comfortably by decision. In his last fight, that was against Andy Worski, which he knocked out within 25 seconds. And if we're being honest, Andy Worski did not deserve to be in that ring. But how I was saying, he knocked out Andy Worski within 25 seconds, so he hasn't really been able to showcase his skill. From his last fight against Andy Worski, we found out that he has serious power. Now, with Josh Bruckner, he has had MMA fights before, and he has also had boxing fights. His boxing record is 2-0, and his first fight was against Tyler Smith, who was an MMA fighter, and his last fight was against Chase Demore. And we don't even need to talk about that fight. Salt Papi is really good, but I just think Salt Papi won't be able to handle Bruckner's volume and power. So I say Bruckner by either 4th round TKO or by a comfortable decision. Now onto the co-main event, Slim versus Tom Zanetti. Starting off with Tom Zanetti, he will be making his boxing debut on Saturday. He has a Muay Thai background, so he has combat experience. And also, he doesn't look that bad on the pads. He is quick and his punches seem to have power. And from what I've heard, he has a great chin and he will come forward and throw punches. Now on to Slim. He has had 5 fights and he has won 4 of them by knockout. And his latest fight was against Ryan Taylor, which he dropped, but he ended up winning by decision. Slim's style is very unorthodox, while Tom's is a bit more technical in my opinion. Who do I think wins this fight? I think Tom Zanetti pulls off the upset and he beats Slim by decision. And now onto the main event, KSI versus Face Temper. Face Temper has had 3 fights. One of his fights was against King Kenny, which he won by decision. His second fight was against Slim, which he lost by 2nd round knockout. But he had another fight against the great, the legend, the GOAT, Overflow, who he knocked out pretty quickly. But also Overflow has only had 1 fight before. And that was about 4 years ago, and he lost. But Temper is a 6'4" southpaw, and that alone could give people problems. Except Slim. But he has a range of a giraffe, and from his last fight, he has knockout power. Or at least we think. He has been training with Malik Scott, who is Deontay Wilder's trainer. And for the people that don't know who Deontay Wilder is, well, first, if you don't know who he is, then shame on you. But Deontay Wilder is the former WBC heavyweight boxing champion of the world. So Temper has been taking this seriously. Also, he is looking way better than before, I gotta give him that. Now with KSI, he has had 5 fights, which were against Joe Weller, Logan Paul, twice, the GOAT Swarms, and the legend himself, Luis Pineda. KSI's last fight was against Pineda, which he beat pretty easily. I mean, Pineda was complaining a lot, but KSI still won, so. But KSI has said that he has improved and that he is on another level from his last fight. We know that KSI has speed and power. Will it be enough to beat the legend Temper? KSI has to beat Temper faster than Slim did. Well, not really. But if he doesn't, Jake Paul and Slim and many other people will be on his case. I don't think he wants that. Anyways, how do I see this fight going? It's probably the same as yours. I don't know. I see KSI winning by 3rd round stoppage. KSI will hit Temper with a body shot, and I think he'll go down. So yeah. So those were my predictions for Misfits 004. Let me know what your predictions are in the comments below, and make sure to like and subscribe. And until the next one.